If you're relocating to the Baltimore area in 2026, you need to watch this. Baltimore is booming right now with incredible growth from luxury neighborhoods to major attractions like the National Aquarium and M&T Bank Stadium. But here's what most people don't realize. Figuring out where you fit into this growing city is not as simple as picking a spot on the map. You've got to balance your budget, cut down your commute time, and find the perfect community vibe for your family. There's a lot to consider. I'm gonna show you guys a complete map tour of the Baltimore metro area. I'm also gonna show you exact homes and areas so you can find exactly what you like. Plus, you'll see the different price points to some of the great subdivisions, so be sure to stay till the end. Now, let's get going. Number one is understanding how Baltimore is laid out. The geography here is key to making smart relocation decisions. Baltimore City is an independent city with about 568,000 residents, and it's just experienced its first population growth in 10 years. That's a big deal. After a decade of decline, the city is finally stabilizing and starting to grow again. Now, when people talk about Baltimore, they're usually referring to the metro area, and it's massive. The Baltimore metro area has 2.8 million residents and is growing at about 1% a year. The metro includes Baltimore City, plus all the surrounding counties. Baltimore County has about 842,000 people, Howard County over 300,000, Anne Arundel close to 600,000. Then you've got Carroll County, Frederick County, Harford County, all pulling in to that Baltimore metro area. Here's what makes Baltimore's location so exceptional. You're positioned perfectly between all the major East Coast cities. Philadelphia is about 100 miles northeast. Washington, D.C. is roughly 40 miles to the southwest. You're close enough to access these major metros, but far enough away to have your own identity and a lower cost of living. The Chesapeake Bay plays a huge role in the region's character too. Baltimore sits at the head of the Patapsco River estuary near the Chesapeake Bay. This gives the city its historic waterfront and creates amazing opportunities for waterfront living throughout the entire metro area. I'll be telling you all about the lifestyle around here in just a minute. I'm Nick Waldner with the Waldner Winners team of Keller Williams, and I've been doing this for 21 years, helping families navigate Maryland's market. I've learned exactly what matters most, and if you're thinking about buying or selling in Maryland, reach out to me. I've helped thousands of families with their real estate needs, and I'd love to help you too. Nothing is more exciting to me than when one of you reaches out to me, so just shoot me an email or text. All my information is in the description below. First, I want to show you how transportation will impact your daily life more than almost anything else. You need to know about commute times. So here are some key transportation infrastructures that you want to know. First, the region has several major highways. I-95 is the main 110-mile corridor linking all of the East Coast cities. This is your primary route for traveling north to Philadelphia or New York, or going south to DC and beyond. 695, known as the Baltimore Beltway, is a 52-mile highway that circles the city. Here's something important. Major construction is currently underway on 695 to add part-time shoulder lanes to be used during peak travel times. This project won't be completed till about 2028, so if you're moving here in 2026, expect some construction delays, but your commute times will be better in the future. Now, you also have I-83, which connects downtown Baltimore all the way up to Pennsylvania and gives you excellent access to the harbor and downtown. This is a critical north-south route, especially if you're living in the northern suburbs and commuting downtown. You've also got I-70, 895, 97, and 795 as additional regional connections. Pretty sweet when you think about getting in and out and around Baltimore. Now let me give you some real commute times because this matters. Getting to Washington takes about 45 to 55 minutes during off-peak hours. Peak hours could be anywhere from an hour to over 2, depending on congestion and if there's any accident. Annapolis is much closer, at about 30 to 35 minutes off peak, but obviously that can go up a bit, maybe 45 minutes to an hour at the most. Within the metro area itself, Most commutes run 15 to 30 minutes depending on your specific location. Here's my take on traffic. Baltimore can be challenging during rush hour, especially on I-95 and the Beltway while we're waiting for the Key Bridge to be rebuilt and the part-time shoulder use project to be finished. If you're commuting to DC regularly, you need to factor in that extra time or consider living closer to the MARC train stations, which can get you in and out of the city without any of that traffic. The areas I tend to recommend for easier commutes are those with quick Beltway access or direct routes to your workplace that avoid all the major interchanges. For example, if you're working downtown, areas along I-83 like Timonium or Cockeysville give you that straight shot in. If you're headed to DC regularly, living closer to Anne Arundel County or Route 50 cuts that commute time big time. Now, the areas I personally avoid during rush hour, the I-95 corridor through the city, and the western side of 695 near I-70. Traffic there can be brutal during the peak times. Yes, these are getting specific, but if you know exactly where you're gonna be working, shoot me an email at hello@waldnerwintersteam.com. I'll give you 4 or 5 communities you should consider to make your commute not so much of a commute. Past the commuting, let's talk property taxes and cost of living. I'm not gonna sugarcoat any of it. Property taxes in Baltimore area change a whole lot depending on where you choose to live. So let me break down the rates for the 2025-2026 and you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Howard County has a property tax rate of 1.044 per $100 of assessed value. That's the county level, plus 0.112 for the state. That gives you an effective rate of 1.156 per year. Now, why would anyone pay that much in taxes? Well, Howard County is known for its highly rated school system. The residents are paying for quality, and I'll explain more about that in a second. Baltimore County charges 1.1 per $100 at the county level, plus the 0.112 for the state. That results in a 1.212 effective rate. Carroll County comes in at a total effective rate at 1.130. Now, here's the big one. Baltimore City has the highest property tax rate in Maryland, 2.248 per $100 in the city, plus the state, totaling 2.36%. While you get a small discount of 0.20 credit when you live in the property, that's still really high to pay to live downtown. Anne Arundel County sits at 0.977 per $100 at the county level, plus the 0.112, so that makes a combined rate of 1.089. Now, for anybody thinking, Nick, you are speaking gibberish and talking about all these numbers, just break it down for us. Okay, I get it. Here's what this means for you. A $500,000 home in Howard County would incur about $5,780 in annual property taxes. The same $500,000 in Baltimore City would cost you $11,800 annually. That's a massive difference that impacts your monthly housing costs. You have to consider this when you're looking. So when you're budgeting for your move, factor in these tax differences. They can make a huge impact on affordability and determine which areas make sense for your budget. Okay, switching gears because nobody wants to talk about taxes. Let's talk about something fun. Why don't we check out some awesome stuff that you get to do when you get here? Attractions and amenities. So what makes Baltimore such an incredible place to live? First, the city is completely transforming its waterfront and downtown areas, creating world-class attractions and amenities. See my video earlier about this development will change Baltimore forever, because it is all about what they're doing. Harbor Place is undergoing a $500 million renovation, all in the video. But the thing is, this is going to completely transform the heart of downtown Baltimore. You've also got Station North as the arts and entertainment district, featuring art galleries, the Charles Theater, and Open Works. This is where Baltimore's creative community really comes to life. It's a pretty amazing place to go visit. And then you have Mount Vernon, which is the cultural district with historic architecture and the Washington Monument. Fun fact, The Washington Monument here was built before DC's Washington Monument. Score 1 for Be More. Speaking of fun, let me tell you something about the major attractions you'll want to visit. The National Aquarium is located at 501 East Pratt Street, has over 20,000 animals representing more than 780 species. You can visit it 7 days a week, and it is truly a full family fun day. This is one of the premier aquariums in the entire country. It is a must visit if you're in Baltimore. Then you have Fort McHenry. This is the birthplace of the Star Spangled Banner. The history here is incredible. It's really powerful experience to visit where our national anthem was written. Now, they have a show that starts every hour on the hour. Don't miss it. In fact, the ending is fantastic. I'm not telling you anything more. The Maryland Science Center is another must-go museum with 3 floors of exhibits, plus a planetarium and an observatory. And I think they have an IMAX there too. Yeah, that one's awesome. The American Visionary Art Museum showcases amazing self-taught artists. The Walters Art Museum features something like 36,000 objects spanning 7 millennia. Plus, the Baltimore Museum of Art holds the world's largest Matisse collection. Edgar Allan Poe House, it's all about the literary icon, and you can see exactly where he wrote all his masterpieces. Also, the historic ships in Baltimore. You have the USS Constellation from 1854, the USS Torsk, which is a submarine you can actually get in and tour. You've got a lot to see and do in Baltimore. It's a really cool place, and we haven't even talked about sports. So for all you sports fans, Baltimore has 2 major professional teams. The Baltimore Ravens, go Ravens! They play at M&T Bank Stadium, which has a capacity of 71,000 and is considered one of the best places to watch a hometown team play. Baltimore Orioles also play at Oriole Park at Camden Yards, which actually opened in 1992. It was the first of this new breed of retro ballparks. What's incredible is Camden Yards completely changed how all other baseball stadiums were designed across the country. And you've got it right here in Baltimore. Really cool place to take the family as well. Also, the indoor soccer franchise, the Baltimore Blast. They compete at CFG Bank Arena, which I think I've been going to see the Blast for 40 years at this point. If you're thinking about college sports, the Baltimore area has several universities with competitive programs. Towson University is all Division I teams. Johns Hopkins has an amazing lacrosse program. UMBC and Loyola both have active athletic programs that draw a lot of local fans. There's a lot to do. Baltimore also has an incredible annual events. The 2025 calendar included the 150th Preakness Stakes, Artscape, Baltimore Pride, the Baltimore Caribbean Festival, Baltimore Book Festival, Fells Point Fun Festival with over 225 vendors, the Baltimore Running Festivals for all you crazy people who like to run marathons. There's also something important that I should mention about the Preakness, because the Preakness is temporarily moving to Laurel Park in 2026, while Pimlico begins its complete reconstruction, and we're talking big. Then it's set to return in 2027. I'll be telling you more about that when we get to the developments, but if you're a horse racing fan, plan accordingly for 2026 and be ready for 2027. If you're not a horse fan, going to the Preakness will change all of that, so put it on your list. Baltimore also takes its parks seriously. There's a massive investment happening right now in outdoor spaces. Baltimore Greenway Trail Network has a vision for a 70-mile urban trail system. Currently, there are over 30 miles of paved trails and 25 miles of natural surface trails. Literally no shortage of space to get out there and hike or walk. Major parks include Patterson Park with its 1890s observatory, Druid Hill Park, Federal Hill Park, Patapsco Valley State Park, which is known as one of the best mountain biking trail systems on the East Coast. Get out there and check that out. That is amazing. And recent investments include $2.8 million in federal funding announced in 2025 for parks and trail expansion. This shows the commitment that Baltimore is making to a more livable and connected area. And before we discuss even more cool projects going on here, I'll tell you more about the specific or special kinds of communities that you will find here. So these next communities are great. They're all different, they're all varied, and they will attract certain buyers. Maybe one of them is you. For the 55 and older adult community, there are various spots throughout Baltimore County, Howard County, and Anne Arundel County. For instance, you've got the gated villages at Woodholm in Pikesville, the newer gatherings at Perry Hall Station, the courtyards at Waverly Woods, which is an upscale option in Marriottsville. If you're interested in waterfront living, Anne Arundel County has plenty of Chesapeake Bay access. Waterfront homes in Annapolis typically range from $1 million to over $8 million. And waterfront properties in Severna Park run from around $1 million to over $3 million. You've also got Harbor East, Harbor Point, both in Baltimore City for a more urban waterfront living, or take a look at Pier Point for a gated waterfront luxury right in Federal Hill. And things are only getting better on the water. The Baltimore Oyster Partnership is planting 5 million oysters by 2030. And the 2025 Healthy Harbor Report Card gave the harbor an overall C grade, which is actually good. But dissolved oxygen earned an unprecedented A. So the harbor is getting cleaner, which is great news for waterfront property values because they're gonna go up. Now, don't go swimming just yet because it's still the harbor. Anyway, for golf communities, the brand new Cove at Sparrows Point Country Club features Beezer homes priced from $400,000 to a little over $500,000 with access to a 100-year-old club with 250 acres of Chesapeake Bay shoreline. Baltimore Country Club has 2 private locations and is hosting the 2026 U.S. Senior Amateur. It's ranked among the top 50 clubs in the U.S., so it is truly suitable for the serious players and those of us who are serious about playing, but our handicaps don't really prove that. Outside of the country clubs, Baltimore County public golf courses include 5 championship courses, including Fox Hollow, which has a US top 50 driving range. We'll be going back to home prices, but before we do, I want you to understand why Baltimore is getting better and better. Because if you're planning to move here, you have to envision the future, right? We need to talk about the major developments. Here's where things get exciting. There are several massive development projects that are going to totally reshape Baltimore over the next decade. I'll show you some of them and also give you some insight into how these are going to impact property values and livability. The Baltimore Peninsula, formerly known as Port Covington, is Under Armour founders Kevin Plank's 25-year project. It will include 18 million square feet of mixed-use development, 2.5 miles of restored waterfront, 40 acres of parks. Like, this is one of America's largest urban renewal efforts across the country, and it's right here in Baltimore. Then you have Harbor Place redevelopment. That's the $500 million MCB real estate renovation that I was talking about earlier. They're replacing the old pavilions with mixed-use buildings, and groundbreaking is expected in 2026. We're looking at a complete reimagining of 20 acres of prime inner harbor real estate. This will be reimagined as a mixed-use development with 900 apartments in 2 residential towers, 4 new buildings to house offices, shops, restaurant, plus a 2-tiered waterfront promenade with 18 plus acres of public space. Absolutely stunning. The soil boring and underwater assessments are already underway. So this is actually happening right now. And then the Pimlico Racecourse that I told you about earlier, they're doing a $400 million renovation, and trust me, they needed it. Demolition began in 2024. The Preakness moves to Laurel in 2026 with a goal to return by 2027. That will be a race you do not want to miss. And before we move on to the market predictions, there's one more development that's going to change everything for Baltimore's economy. Yep, I'm talking about the Port of Baltimore expansion. It's topping the list with an estimated $1 billion. No. Yeah, $1 billion investment into the container terminal at Coke Point, covering 165 acres. This is a joint venture between Trade Point Atlantic and Terminal Investment Limited, which is an MSC subsidiary. We are talking about the potential to elevate Baltimore to third place in East Coast container capacity. The project adds 1,100 construction jobs during the build-out phase. The timeline for the project kicks off at the end of 2025 and runs through 2028. This will be a total shift in Baltimore's economic base and therefore change the home values and the commutes around that area. Speaking of which, let me show you why I'm excited about Baltimore's future. Population growth from 2023 to 2024 was significant across the metro. Baltimore City added 750 residents, making the first growth in 10 years. But Baltimore County grew by 3,750 people. Howard County added another 2,330, up 1%. Anne Arundel County grew by about 2,300. Overall, the metro area added 10,000 residents in 2024. Economic indicators are strong. Strong education, great healthcare, and a government sector. Johns Hopkins is another major employer here. And the Port of Baltimore drives significant economic activity, having handled 46 million tons of cargo in 2024. Plus, Under Armour still maintains its headquarters right here in Baltimore. So how does the future look? The market forecast for 2026 predicts steady, moderate growth. Inventory is increasing, but remains way below pre-pandemic levels. The overall market is transitioning toward balance. Neighborhoods with active revitalization projects are expected to outperform the broader market. And like we saw, billions in development investments are flowing into the city. So all of this sets the stage for life and work around here. Now let's dive into what kind of homes you can buy at different price points. So I'm breaking this down from entry level to luxury, so you can see where it might fit for you. I'm also going to show you specific neighborhoods and what your money gets in each range. Let's get going. Overall market data from September to October of 2025 shows Baltimore City with a median price around $223,000. Homes are on the market for an average of 47 days, averaging 2 offers per property. What that really looks like, some better homes might receive 3 offers while others are only getting 1. Just be aware of only knowing the average is not what you want. You want to work with someone who can break down and show you the truth behind the numbers. So basically, a great house might have multiple buyers. The average house, just 1. Baltimore County, median average is $363,000, up 1.1% year over year, with about 30 days on the market. Howard County is a little bit higher, $620,000 is the median, 1.6% increase year over year, and about 30 days on the market. And overall, the Maryland statewide median is about $438,000, up 1.5% year over year. So let's get into the entry level. So for the entry level housing, $220,000 to about $370,000, you're looking at condos, townhomes, and some smaller, older single-family homes. Baltimore City has various neighborhoods in this range. Some options include Essex, Dundalk, Rosedale, Arbutus, parts of Catonsville, Parkville, Middle River. These areas typically feature older housing stock like brick colonials or row homes in the city. Some neighborhoods are experiencing active revitalization, which is good. And this is also a great first-time home buyers where they can get into the market. You'll find properties with good bones that might need some updates. The key is to identify the up-and-coming areas so you win the appreciation game. I can help with all that. Now, if you're in the mid-range is $370,000 to about $600,000. You'll find some established neighborhoods and suburban communities. Baltimore City has options like Federal Hill, Canton, the upper end of Hamden or Mount Washington. In Baltimore County, Catonsville typically runs around $450,000 and up. It usually attracts the young professionals and families with that quick downtown access where that's important. It's also a tight-knit community feel, so if you like that, that might be a good spot for you. Lutherville Timonium is about 15 minutes north of the city. It has some great price points for the mid-range buyer. Perry Hall, White Marsh, also solid options too. If you go out a little further to Harford County or Carroll County, you can get a little bit more house for the same money. Now, Howard County has some townhomes and condos in this range. Ellicott City, maybe some older homes, townhomes that are near downtown, or parts of Columbia might even still have some mid-range priced single-family homes. Anne Arundel County includes Pasadena, Glen Burnie, and parts of Severna Park with easy access to Annapolis and Baltimore, but we'll see this last one in the upper range as well. Severna Park has a couple of different areas to it. The upper mid-range, which is $600,000 to $1 million, this features the master plan communities and the larger homes in Howard County, Ellicott City. Ellicott City, median price there is about $723,000 with some highly rated schools, the historic downtown, and that strong sense of community. Columbia offers the lakefront neighborhoods and newer development, while Fulton ranks among Maryland's best suburbs with luxury townhomes and estate homes. If you don't know about Fulton, check out my video where I go all in on Fulton. Then you have Baltimore County. It includes Towson, where homes range between $400,000 and $800,000, though some could exceed $1 million. That range is coming up soon though. Towson is the county seat with a lively downtown and Towson University. Timonium and Cockeysville offer the suburban convenience, so just outside of Towson, the tree-lined neighborhoods, easy highway access, and great price points. Anne Arundel County includes Severna Park, which I mentioned earlier, but now we're talking about Severna Park where they have waterfront homes or water access homes. For the waterfront homes, you're looking at $1 million to maybe over $3 million. It's actually one of the most desirable Chesapeake Bay suburbs, located about 20 miles south of Baltimore and just above Annapolis. Now these prices all lead us into the high end. So what is high end? Well, housing from $1 million to $3 million includes luxury neighborhoods, custom homes. If you're in Baltimore City, you're probably looking at Guilford, which the current median price is around $950,000. Also in the city, Roland Park, that's got a median price around $613,000. You've got Homeland, which also has a median sales price just under $700,000. And then you have Mount Washington, Baltimore's first true suburb, and their average median is around $510,000, combining the older Victorians with some of the new luxury residents as well. If we get out to Baltimore County, Cockeysville lists luxury homes ranging from $1 million to over $5 million. Ruxton and Riderwood form one of the country's most exclusive enclaves, with homes around $1.3 million on average and properties often exceeding $3 million. Green Spring Valley has those incredible historic equestrian estates and modern luxury villas, many in the $2 to $4 million range. I've got a video that talks about an $18.5 million one. You can watch that in another video. Anne Arundel County, you got Annapolis and Severna Park waterfront. Homes dominate the upper tier there, which you'll get for $1 to $3 million. Annapolis Neck area averages around $835,000, with listings easily topping $2 million for that direct Chesapeake Bay access. Severna Park's waterfront listings sit around $795,000 in the median, with the high-end estates reaching well over $3 million. But we're not over yet. We haven't even touched on the luxury market. For the luxury housing, which is anything above $2.5 million, you're looking at gated communities, waterfront estates. Anne Arundel County has Annapolis waterfront homes ranging in that $2.5 to $8 million with that Chesapeake Bay access. It's got a sailing culture, proximity to the Naval Academy. And then you have Gibson Island, which is another fantastic option for the super wealthy. Yes, there is an island with only about 200 homes where the low end starts at $1.5 million, I've got another fun video on that we just did. That's a cool one to watch. Baltimore City includes select waterfront properties and Harbor East luxury condos and the penthouses. You also got premier waterfront residents around the Inner Harbor, Fells Point, including the Ritz-Carlton residence, which is right outside of Federal Hill. Baltimore County, we have Cockeysville Estates up to $5 million and beyond, plus Green Spring Valley and Ruxton, along with the Bay waterfront properties. There's a lot of luxury real estate as well. It just depends on your lifestyle and where you want to live. So if you're looking for true living decadence, you'll find it all over Maryland too. Okay, so overall, Nick, what are you trying to tell us? What's the message? Basically, Baltimore in 2026 is a city on the rise. You've got incredible attractions, expansions, huge projects changing the city, and much more. And the housing market is balanced right now. Good homes in desirable neighborhoods are moving quickly and often getting multiple offers, so you have to be ready for that. It's a lot to do on your own, and don't hesitate to call me. I love that I get 1 or 2 emails from people just like you every day wanting to discuss their exact plans. That's what I live for. If you have a question or you want to talk about a specific thought or need or what you truly want, send me an email. hello@waldnerwinnersteam.com right here, or shoot me a text. Let's have a conversation about your specific situation. After 21 years in this exact market, I can easily help you narrow down the best areas and strategies based on your budget, commute needs, and lifestyle preference. Before you go, don't miss my video where I'm ranking the best neighborhoods in Baltimore. You'll get a much broader picture of what this area can actually offer. So which area gives you the most value, the best kind of lifestyle, where the smart money is moving right now. That video is linked right there on your screen, so click on that and let's hang out some more. Thank you for watching. I'm Nick Waldner. I'll see you on the next one.